Behind me is a 2013 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Saraha edition. I'm going to go full Doug DeMiro on you and take you around its little quirks and features and tell you a bit about the car. When you pop open the hood, you'll see a 3.6 liter VVT V6 that pushes 285 horsepower and 260 foot-pounds of torque. While that may seem like a lot, compared to how heavy it is, it's not great. One odd thing about this Jeep is that there's no interior pop open the hood latch or button. These little latches on both sides, they just both come undone. Then there's one little lever beneath like most cars, and you're good to go. On the side you'll see it says Saraha Wrangler Unlimited. That's quite a mouthful. What that means is Saraha is just the package equipped to this specific Jeep, and Wrangler, well, it's a Jeep Wrangler. Unlimited means it's the four-door kind of family style version. And on the driver's side you'll see it says the same thing down there, and then also trail rated 4x4. My mom really likes chrome, so she decided to get all the chrome accessories that you can, which includes the famous 7-slot grille, 2 big headlights, and 2 big turn signals, as well as this very giant bumper, which I think looks really mean and is kind of classic for Jeeps, along with kind of these tow hooks. I'm assuming that's what they're used for, but you can use them for, I guess, whatever you need to. Now, since this is not the Rubicon, it doesn't have giant off-road tires, but compared to my little Ford Ranger over there, my mom's Jeep has quite large tires, and it does get the job done quite well. Speaking of down below, you'll see it has, I think it's 14 inches of ground clearance, which might not sound like a lot, but considering this isn't exactly made for extreme off-roading, just small bits, that's what the Rubicon is made for, extreme off-roading, 14 inches is actually a lot. Chrome gas cap, says Jeep on it. Flip it open, standard gas cap with Jeep on the inside as well to remind you what you're driving. Now this chrome kind of cage around the taillight, I'm always used to it because this is, you know, the first Jeep that I ever, I guess, got to drive and got used to, and I'm used to seeing this one because it's in my driveway. But not all Jeeps have these, so I always think they look really weird when they don't have this kind of cage around it. And I think it looks pretty nice. And it's no surprise for a Jeep to see spare tire mounted directly on the back of the tailgate. It wouldn't be a Jeep without it. Speaking of the tailgate, it opens in kind of a weird way, but again, I'm used to it. First you open the bottom door. Then you open this part up. You don't even need to. And then you have all this storage with, you know, Jeep right there, again, to remind you of what you're driving. While we're back here, you'll see some subs or speakers, one of the two, I don't know. And I will say, this Jeep has a very nice sound system. Closing the tailgate is the same way, just you have to put this closed first, just so it stays more sealed because there's rubber there, and then close this, and you're all set. One more time, you'll see all the chrome bits that my mom preferred over the matte black, or the body color. Climbing inside isn't that hard. I'm 6'2", and it's honestly kind of the perfect height and size for me. One downside, manual seat adjusters. Now you'll notice that this isn't the most luxurious interior, but it's not exactly meant to be, considering this is an off-road family vehicle. On the steering wheel itself, which is fitted in this nice kind of leather feeling material, it might actually be leather, but I'm assuming it's just plastic leather. You have the nice Jeep chrome badge, as well as all your controls, or at least some of them, including your voice commands and your cruise control. Alright, let's start her up. Nothing special on the key fob. This is the infotainment system. It's pretty simple, nothing too fancy. You've got your satellite radio, your FM, and your AM. Nothing crazy. This is, you know, your voice-o recognition. Your voice control, you can talk to it. Phone call, radio, media. This is where you can hook up your Bluetooth. Here, you have discs. You can watch movies or put in your favorite CD. Is there anything in there right now? There is not. You can see a DVD player. You can load something in. Or you can say, actually, I didn't want to. I was just making a YouTube video. Over here you have your menu, which just pops up, you know, your settings and all that, your favorite channels and artists. Audio, this is where you can control where the audio is going, because there are speakers all over it. This Jeep speaker is right there, one on the other side, some in the doors, and then obviously some up front. Possibly my favorite part about the Jeep is the equalizer. I've already turned up the bass a little bit, but it gets pretty bassy in here, I'll admit. I won't play any right now, but you can turn the bass up, turn it down, turn the middle frequencies up, treble. It's pretty nice, honestly. Then you just click exit, and you're back to your home screen. Something that I thought was kind of weird and quirky with the Jeep, maybe it's in a lot of newer cars, I'm not sure. So if you click my files right here, you have my music. That's not that weird. You can download music to the hard drive. Or my pictures, which is where you store your background photo. Built into the Jeep is a GPS system, which is actually really nice and handy. You can change the car that you choose. I would click go, but then you guys would see where I live. And I don't want that. And as simple as hide navigation. And if you want, it will tell you when you're driving, turn left now. It's very simple, really nice. As I mentioned before, everything on the seat is manual. You know, tilt it back, move it down, slide it forward, slide it back. And for some that's an issue, but if you're in a Jeep, everything's rugged. Although it's just all plastic everywhere, everything in here is pretty much plastic. It's tough plastic. You push these buttons, heated seats on both sides, 2 settings, forgot to mention that. And it's plastic, but it feels tough because that's what a Jeep is. While I'm down here, let's just talk about what's in the climate control as well as the center console place. Here you can turn on your air, which shoots out through 4 vents. One here, one there, and one there, as well as some at your feet well, and the defroster on the windshield. There's nothing too crazy down here. You control how hot or cold you want it to be, or just kind of middle room temperature, 22 degrees Celsius. Here you choose where you want it, and if you want the defroster on or off. Also down here, as I said, heated seats, traction control, and all your other switches that you may need. They're all pretty accessible and not hard to use at all, especially when you're driving. Down here is your mirror adjuster. The gear selector is same as honestly most cars. Reverse, neutral, drive, nothing crazy. But what a lot of cars don't have, or at least, you know, normal cars, if you're in an off-road vehicle you might, is where you can select 2-wheel drive or 4x4. And honestly, it's really simple to use. Right now we're in 2-wheel drive. If I wanted 4x4, I'd just pop it back one, and all 4 wheels would be getting power, which as you can see, it's snowing. It's pretty nice out right now because we're kind of having a melt, but when it's really snowy and icy, it helps tremendously. And then your parking brake, same as every other car, nothing crazy. Up top, sun visor with built-in mirror. Hi guys. Nothing crazy again. Jeep's pretty simple. One thing that I do like is right here. We call this your holy poop bars when you're scared. But they're just, you know, for when you're going over big bumps or anything. Again, says Jeep right there to remind you of what you're driving. Small detail that I actually really enjoy is on the passenger side, there's this little bar again. It says Jeep, and then it says since 1941, which is, I think, just a really cool detail. Down at the center console, you have 2 cup holders and a main one, 2 buttons underneath. One opens up the big container, and the button over here opens up the smaller one. Pretty cool, honestly. Climbing into the back, it's got a bench seat. This is the front driver's seat, pushed all the way back because I'm 6'2", and I still have, although it's right at my knee, I have room, and this is for me being pretty tall, pushing the seat all the way back. You got a speaker there, light here, and I'll get to what these are in a minute. I'm assuming you guys know what those are, and another speaker there. So sound system, very maneuverable as to where you want the sound coming from in the vehicle. Another light right here, and as you've already seen, some storage space. Not a whole lot, but you're not going to be hauling too much in your Jeep. Now this Jeep, my mom chose the hard top, the one that is black, not the body color. I think this looks better on most Jeeps, except for maybe red. I like when the hard top is red as well. And although the name hard is in it, it's not that hard to take off. To pop off the hard top, you unscrew these. There's some bolts over there to unscrew, which comes with tools underneath that. More over there, some wires to unhook, and then literally you just take it off. It's really easy. It's as easy with the doors. It's kind of hard not to scratch it. You unhook this, unhook some cables if there are any, and then you just literally slide the door out. It's really simple and really nice, especially driving in the summer with all your doors off and the top off. It's pretty cool. One thing that only Jeeps and a few other cars have is the window controls being here. They're locked currently, but why are they there? I don't know. There's none on the windows. Exact same deal up front. Also back here you have 2 cup holders, nothing special. So I won't be taking this thing for a drive because I turned 16 in a month, so I can't drive on my own yet. And my mom's in the shower right now, but I can tell you guys a bit about driving this thing because I've driven this quite a few times because it's the main car that I drive. That will be my truck in about a month's time. Anyway, Driving in this, turn radius sucks. But you don't need to turn tightly in a Jeep. It's not made for that. Jeeps accomplish what they need to do, and they do it very well. Power is fine. This thing can go quick if you need it to. Probably my biggest complaint about driving the Jeep is the highway noise. Since this windshield is super rugged and almost straight up, first off you get bugs hitting it, and the wind is crazy. Driving this in very windy conditions is near impossible because it's shaking all over the place.